Yo guys, welcome back to another video here at Trader's Journey on YouTube. Thanks very much for joining me on yet another video. Apologies that it's been a while since I've been uploading, but I'll try and make it as frequent as possible as my schedule is starting to get a lot busier. But just before I get started with this video, if you haven't checked out my Instagram, which is traderjourney_official, be sure to give me a follow there, as I do provide daily trading tips and tricks over there, and I'm fairly active, so feel free to DM me if you guys have any questions. So today we're going to be discussing some stocks I'm looking at for January-February 2020. I'm just going to be going over the technical analysis as well as the news coverage of these stocks and why I think they're going to be doing well for the foreseeable future. So the first stock I'm going to look at, guys, is Zoom. Zoom, as you know, has been one of those stocks that has done well during the pandemic, during lockdowns. It's a stock which it's a name which people are familiar with. It's definitely something I've been using as well for our membership team community as well, for webinars, etc. So this stock for me is a very strong hold. You can see we did have a sell-off when we reached the peak in October, 19th of October. We've seen this massive sell-off. I do have a demand zone charted on the graph, but for me this is a really good strong hold right now as we see the recovery in the stock price. Now the reason why I'm buying and holding this stock is I think with the continued lockdowns worldwide and the continued ban on travel, Zoom is only going to do even better than it has done already in the pandemic session. So I think this stock is definitely a hold for me. There isn't any like sort of the only news that sort of surrounds the stock is that they are going to be listed on SPY soon, so that is definitely some good news. So I think that has caused this recent spike in the price, but as we can see, there were plenty of buyers sitting in this region, causing the price to surge upwards. So we do think this is, for me, a good hold for anyone's portfolio, and there's definitely some really good upside potential. Stock did have a previous all-time high of 588.86. At the moment we're trading at 384, so you can see the upside potential. There is of course some downside potential if you are looking to manage your risk, but as of now, with this strong rejection at this strong demand zone, I see this stock as a good buy and hold for the year 2021. Now I would say, of course, yes, manage your risk. I did buy at the dip, so I had a very good entry point. So at this point it'd be good to see for a pullback. It does seem there is a pullback now, so maybe now would be a good entry for anyone looking to enter this for a long-term hold. So an exciting stock to begin off the video. Next up, guys, is a stock called HTBX. I think I mentioned this on a previous video as well, but this is Heat Biologics Inc. and they mainly focus in on sort of assisting the body. They're in the healthcare industry. They mainly help with supporting the immune systems of, say, cancer patients. They have been working on some COVID-19 vaccine area, but there isn't some solid news on that yet, so I wouldn't use that as a catalyst for investing in this stock. However, you can see, looking at this chart, it reached extremely it sort of found support here at the 517 level, and when it found support, for me, with the what's going on in the world with the healthcare industry doing particularly well and supporting the COVID-19 news across the globe, I think this stock is for me somewhat of a lotto play, guys, because look at the all-time highs we've seen of $30. I have seen some news which I'm going to pull up here now. There has been some news where analysts have been saying they see this with an estimate of $35, a median target of $35. Considering the all-time high was $30. I mean, it is possible, we can't rule it out, but it does seem very optimistic with the stock currently trading at $6.34. So you can see that I had a wedge chart on here. It did break that. This was a very key resistance area which is eventually broke. So for me, I'm entered into this stock right now, and there is definitely some huge upside potential. The risk The risk to reward ratio with this investment I think is pretty good, considering how high the stock was and how low it is now. It's a very good dip buy in my opinion. So that's the second stock, guys, which I wanted to feature on today's video. Next up is a stock called Eagle Aerial Systems. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. These guys specialize in drone technology. So I think drone technology is going to be definitely something for the future to automate a lot of systems, a lot of procedures, a lot of manual labor. I think drones will be taking those jobs and will definitely automate a lot of the industry. So as you can see from this chart here, we've seen huge growth in the stock just towards the end of 2020 in December, as well as in this new year as well. So for me, I think this is definitely a strong buy. It's probably one to hold for a long term before you see these huge gains it's already seen. If you are looking to invest, you probably would be best to wait for a dip buy, as it is trading at all-time highs currently. And there's definitely some huge growth in this area. If you want to look more into the company, you can look to see some articles online. I'll try and get some articles and leave links into the description box below. But as you can see here, these guys mainly focus in on agricultural industry, so sort of crops and automating those procedures. It does tend to be a very manual industry in the agriculture, if I can pronounce that correctly. So I think this is going to be definitely one to watch, and maybe wait for a dip buy, as it's trading at all-time highs, like I said. So for me, this is one of the drone stocks to watch. It has seen some huge growth, but definitely do your own due diligence and own research before investing in any of these companies. These are basically my suggestions for you guys to have a look at. But this is the third stock, which I think is exciting, and it's definitely a long-term hold for me. I don't know how many years I'll be holding this, but this will definitely be something to watch for the future. Next up, guys, I don't consider this as a buy at the moment, but it is definitely one to watch, and it is Advanced Micro Devices. These guys make computer chips, graphic cards, all that sort of stuff, and that industry tends to be one for the future as well, and will continue to do well in the 5 years, 10 years to come. But at the moment, we have seen a sell-off from AMD. You can see some supply and demand zones, which I've charted. You do guys also, any of my old followers know that AMD is one of the stocks which I like to trade on a daily to weekly basis, as it moves enough to benefit options traders. But as an investment point of view, I currently have some shares in AMD, but at the moment they have suffered, along with other device graphic cards companies such as Nvidia. Both the stocks have been taking a hit, as you can see in this article. I'll try and leave it in the description box below, but they have been suffering from some supply chain issues, so they haven't been able to get all their products out for sale, and that will just hinder their profits even more. So that is my reasoning for this sell-off which we've seen here on AMD. But we should see the stock possibly struggle for the next 3 to 4 months before they sort out their supply chain issues. So the reason why I'm mentioning it in this video is because we might be able to catch a good dip buy when the stock and the company and the business decides to turn around. So at the moment, it is trading in this demand zone, which I have charted here, guys, which you can see. It does appear to be breaking below that demand zone, so I would stay clear from a trading and investing perspective and see how low the stock goes, as there might be a good dip buy. But for long-term investors, this is definitely a good buy. I see the stock doing very well in the future. Even though it's made huge gains already, I still see it being a good hold for anyone's portfolio. So stay tuned here, guys, for any further technical analysis on this stock. I'll try and keep you guys posted on that on my Instagram. But for now, let's see if there's going to be a bigger dip, and let's see if we can buy the dip at a later point in time if this stock does not recover. So that brings me on to the next stock, which is Foresight Autonomous Holdings. These guys, their ticker name is FRSX. If you haven't heard of these guys before, these guys specialize in automation of vehicles and producing everything needed, such as software and hardware, to allow for autonomous driving vehicles. So this is pretty exciting area, and I think it's obviously one for the future. There's a short article here from Motley Fool. So they do say that obviously these guys are specializing in the automotive arena, so they're trying to make some sort of machine vision systems for vehicles. So I think this is definitely one for the future. There isn't much information out there at this point, but you can see how well the stock has done since the beginning and end of 2020. We saw huge surges in the stock. Now this might be one of those stocks which is currently trading at these prices based on rumors of potential collaborations with different automotive manufacturers, but I would say this one is one to watch. Maybe wait for a further pullback before buying the dip, as it is trading quite high, but based on how strongly the stock is currently doing, there may not even be a dip buy on this stock. So I'll be investing. It is still at a good price, considering its previous all-time highs when it first started trading back in 2018. So I think this is definitely another one for the future. So it's currently trading at 782. There are plenty of rumors going around with this stock, but it's probably best to wait for any news for any long-term investors for potential collaborations and risking your money in this stock. That brings me, guys, onto the last stock which I wanted to mention in today's video, and it is SBE, Switchback Energy Acquisition Corporation. So these guys specialize in electric vehicle charging banks. There is some good news coming out hopefully shortly on this stock, which is definitely one to watch. There is a big day coming where we see ChargePoint, another producer of electric vehicle charging. They are looking to team up with SBE through, I believe, a SPAC merger. So this is definitely one to watch. But if anyone's not as risky in their investing strategy, it would probably be best to wait for the confirmed news with ChargeBank and SBE if they were to merge together. But I believe electric cars are definitely the future. So I think these stocks are going to do well if electric vehicles do well. But one thing to note, guys, that electric vehicles are still roughly like 3 or 4%, a really small percentage of total vehicle sales, brand new vehicle sales. It's only a small percentage. So electric vehicles are still needing to catch a lot of the market. So as soon as they do catch properly onto the market for vehicle sales, we will see SBE hopefully catch that trend and do well as well. There isn't any particular news other than the ChargeBank news to watch out for, but this stock for me is for 5 years, 10 years time. I would see these stocks doing very well as and when electrical vehicles take the road and take larger market share of vehicle sales. So that really covers off this video, guys. I've covered off 6 stocks, and I just wanted to sort of complement the video with fundamental news as well as technical analysis. I think it's important for any investor or trader to combine 2 fundamental as well as technical analysis. I like to combine my technical analysis for a good entry point for my long-term investments, as these stocks tend to move quite a lot. It's nice to get a good entry point. As I know, a lot of long-term investors don't actually do that and purely invest based on fundamentals. So I like to combine the two. I hope you guys got some value from this video. I'll try and leave the link to all the articles which I've featured in this video in the description box below. Just before I end it here, like I said, be sure to check out my Instagram, which is traderjourney_official. If you haven't subscribed as yet, or you are new to this channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, drop me a like, as it does help me out. And if anyone's interested in joining an investing and trading community, I have the Discord link in the description box below as well. So thanks very much for watching. I will catch you all on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.